I think what's very interesting is over the last decade, people have become much more aware of the impact that companies have on the environment, in their communities, all over the world. And I think that's happened for a couple of reasons. First of all, because of the web, any corporate malfeasance anywhere around the world is instantly visible. So there are no dark corners anymore in which companies can hide, number one. Number two, I think also because of the web, there's been a leveling up of expectations. We expect companies to operate the same way around the world with the same respect for employees, environment, corruption standards, and so on. And so I think this has been a very, very healthy thing because obviously today, large organizations are some of the most powerful economic actors in the world, and I think it's right that they should be held to very demanding standards in terms of ethics and social responsibility. What's been interesting though to watch is also around the world over the last decade or so, the degree of trust in large institutions has been on the decline. That's true for government, it's true for business, it's true for organized religion across the board. And so there's a lot of ground, I think, for companies to make up in that respect. And I don't have to go through the litany of all the scandals, but it's hard literally to go a week without some major corporate scandal erupting. The other thing I find very interesting is that when you do polls of the millennials, they now see business as equally responsible as government for solving society's big problems, whether it's inequality or environmental issues or security problems and so on. So there's this, in a way, extraordinary gap you have with declining trust on one hand and rising expectations on the other hand. And I think that's an enormous window of opportunity for companies that step up and are willing to think about corporate social responsibility in a new way. And I think there's an opportunity to redefine this as follows. I know a lot of companies that have corporate level programs working on kind of big global issues. So it might be Coca-Cola working on being a more responsible user of water resources around the world. It could be Apple trying to develop and enforce a code of supplier responsibility for their suppliers in China and elsewhere. But those things are mostly top down and they're well intentioned. I think a lot of them have a great impact. A lot of companies support local volunteering. They'll have some matching program where individual employees can go out and do something locally in the community. What I haven't often seen is large organizations that are really taking the lead in creating new social movements, things that leverage that leverage local passion, but also have global impact. One of the examples that I think of in that respect, and this is not tied to a company, but it shows, I think, what might be possible, is you look at an endeavor like Habitat for Humanity, where they have big global corporate partners who supply lumber and building materials, but then all over the world they have people in local communities building houses for the disadvantaged. And so I think there's an opportunity for companies to kind of tie these two things together, to find a few things that they can work on globally, but also leverage all their employees, all their associates wherever they are in the world as well. The companies that figure out how to do that, how to leverage the local passions of their people and in communities, but also multiply that, replicate that, so they are really making a significant dent on global scale problems. Those are going to be the ones that I think are going to build the social credibility, the social capital with consumers and citizens around the world.